I can up my amount if I want.
But that helped you mentally at Christmas time because it's very stressful for you at Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know me.
Yes.
And then this is super embarrassing and probably the funniest part of this podcast.
Yep.
So Wednesday, it was a half day, and I was so busy, and I drank a super tall coffee, right?
Yeah.
And I had my water. I drank water.
Yes, thank you.
And I'm like super busy, and they're like something like there was a procedure going on that I can't actually talk about.
Yeah.
There was something going on. It's a timed thing.
Yes.
And it's like, we got to do this, 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 and this. And we were doing all that. And I'm like, I really have to pee, but I have to finish this. And I finished it. And it was everything like was great. I'm waddling to the bathroom. I'm like 10 steps away from the bathroom. And I pee myself.
Yep.
At work.
Mm-hmm.
But I was wearing leggings and a dress.
Yes.
I only like half peed myself.
Praise be.
But, like enough so that I like I had to full body change.
Yes.
When I got home, and I'm so glad it was a half day because I'm literally like, okay, all right, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Yeah. Clock out and leave.
Yep.
And the first thing I did was call my dad. And I'm like, Dad, you're never going to believe this.
Yes.
And we laughed about it. And I'm like, what do you do? Whatever.
Yes.
It fucking happens.
Yeah.
So I, Cena, peed myself because I'm going to blame all our procedures and timed events. Because I wasn't prepared for it. I didn't know what was coming.
Yes.
If I had known, I would
have gone to the bathroom.
Beforehand.
Yes.
But it was just like, surprise. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay.
Yes. I want to interject and add, I was invited next Thursday. They are having something, the Worcester, some people are coming in and using our engagement center or something at our building. So we're shutting down, locking the front doors at 3:30, and they're paying us for an hour and a half.
Nicole.
Whatever. What?
I'm going to interject you here.
Go ahead.
So we are almost at 40
minutes. Oh my gosh.
And we're still in catch-up time.
We are.
We could just have this whole episode be catch-up time.
Yeah, basically.
We had nothing going on this week.
Yeah.
With finger quotes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anyways.
But they're like, oh, you can go home at 3:30. I'm like, okay, cool. And now everyone, they came up to me like, hey, we're going to go to do a team building thing, go to B-Dubs. And then if you want to go to a movie, we can go to a movie. And I had shown real interest in going to this movie the day prior. But now I'm like, hi, I'm a mom and my husband has a game that day. I don't even think I can I'm like, I really want to do this. But because I'm not the youngest mom. Brittany is the youngest mom. But all of her kids are older than my kids. Kind of vibe.
You have the youngest children.
Yes. And I'm like, I can't just... Because, the person who invited me, her daughter's in the army. She's old enough that she's not around.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into this fact of the week. Sorry, Dustin. I also have 2 facts of the week. I'm sorry. There was the 1975. There was a 729-foot-long freighter SS Edmund Fitzgerald that sank during a storm on Lake Superior, killing all 29 crew aboard. And then, in 1989, German citizens began to bring down the Berlin Wall.
Good job.
Good job. And then we have our banger of the week from 1979, Eagles' Heartache Tonight.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. All right. So, Nicole did all the research this week, kind of because this was my thought baby.
Your little brainchild.
Yeah. And it started because my sister didn't know what a woolly bear was.
Do you care to explain to our audience what a woolly bear is?
Yeah, momentarily. So this week we're talking about the Farmer's Almanac and weather predictions folklore. On Farmer's Almanac, this is where I got all my info, either farmersalmanac.com or almanac.com. And they have like sections for folklore. So like it's a thing. So the first one I wanted to talk about, because it's something that I literally say daily, no matter what time of day, like if it's in the morning or at night, it's the red sky at night, sailor's delight, red sky in morning, sailor's warning. Okay. This is the description of that saying. When we see a red sky at night, this means that the setting sun is sending its light through a high concentration of dust particles. This usually indicates high pressure and stable air coming in from the west. Basically, good weather will follow. And then a red sunrise can mean that a high pressure system of good weather has already passed, thus indicating that a storm system that is low pressure may be moving to the east. A morning sky that is a deep fiery red can indicate that there is high water content in the atmosphere, so rain could be on the way. Which I never understood that, because I was always like, well, hello, we're Ohio here. We're not near any oceans or anything. Hello.
We're by the lake.
Lake Erie.
Lake Erie, it's huge.
But I just, like, I say it to myself every time in the morning. If I see a red morning or a red night sky, which is very seldom because I'm not outside.
Or what I hear in my head.
What?
A red sun rises in the east. Blood has been spilt this night.
Yes.
Legless.
I literally watched the first 2 Hobbits today. Thank you. And then woolly bears. My sister had no idea what were, like, she knew what a woolly bear was, but she didn't know the folklore behind it.
Girl, we got the Woolly Bear Festival here in Ohio.
Right? So the woolly worm is not a worm at all. It's a caterpillar, specifically the larva of the Isabella tiger moth. Not going to pronounce the real name of the moth. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nonetheless, the name worm has stuck, at least in some parts of the United States. I have never heard it be called a woolly worm, and here's why.
Knock out someone's teeth, they call it.
Right? She's like, in others, such as New England and the Midwest, people tend to call them woolly bears. And I never knew that. I just thought they were called woolly bears everywhere. But we live Midwest.
We are Midwest, yes.
Yeah. So, but a woolly bear it looks like it has black on both ends, like head, butt. And then it's got like a rust color segment in the middle. Mm-hmm. So the folklore is the wider the rust part in the middle, or more brown color there is, the milder the coming winter will be. And then the more black there is, the more severe the winter. And it go ahead. Like if the middle
bears bite.
No. Remember I picked one up at Moreland and moved it out of the road?
Okay, cool.
No.
That's a weird question. I feel stupid. Go on.
But it had to mention, like, if you see like all black ones or all brown ones, it's just a different species of woolly bears. It doesn't mean the apocalypse is coming.
No, okay.
It literally said that. I was like, wow, there's a lot of concern about the apocalypse and woolly bears. And then halo around the moon or the sun. Does that make sense?
Like the light halo?
Like a circle around it, okay?
Like a lunar rainbow.
Yes, exactly. A sun halo is caused by the refraction, reflection, and dispersion of light through ice particles suspended within thin, wispy, high-altitude cirrus or cirrostratus clouds. As light passes through these hexagon-shaped ice crystals, it is bent at a 22-degree angle, creating a circular halo around the sun. Basically, it's a rainbow with the red on the inside and the blue on the outside of the circle, if that makes sense to you. But a ring around the sun or moon means rain or snow is coming soon. Apparently that's a saying. Never heard it.
Me either.
Till now. And so that's basically it. It just means that rain or snow is coming soon depending on your climate or season that you're in currently. Which Ohio, it's just whatever you get right now. And this is one that I have always known, and I look at the tree outside of my house, and I'm pretty right on the predictions every time. Leaves turning their back. The leaves of deciduous trees like maples or poplars do often to turn upward before heavy rain. The leaves are actually reacting to the sudden increase in humidity that usually precedes a storm. Leaves with soft stems can become limp in response to abrupt changes in humidity, allowing the wind to flip them over.
Huh.
Like I know it every time. And it's just something that makes me feel good. I'm like, I'm a witch. Solidified.
I'm a witch. Hallelujah.
And do you know anything about cricket chirps?
That once the crickets stop, summer's over.
I don't know about that, but that's news to me. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I mean, they all like hibernate or die.
Like,
so
once you start hearing them, that means like summer's coming to an end.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes.
I don't know.
Well, I can explain why you hear the chirps, I guess. Sir.
We just told Daddy that you were the good one.
Yeah. You're kind of making us look like a fool. So, crickets are cold-blooded and take on the temperature of their surroundings. Back in 1897, a scientist named Amos Dolbear published an article, The Crickets as a Thermometer, that noted the correlation between the ambient temperature and the rate at which crickets chirp. The insect's muscles contract to produce chirping based on chemical reactions. The warmer the temperature, the easier the cricket's muscles activate, so the chirps increase. The cooler the temperature, the slower the reaction rate, and the less frequent the chirps. So there's actually a formula that you can like test to try and see, like, obviously not right now. We'd have to do it when it's like, yeah. So if you want to figure out what your like the weather temperature is outside, Fahrenheit wise, you just count the number of chirps in 14 seconds and then add 40 to get the temperature.
It's like taking blood pressure.
Yeah, like to get Celsius, it's counting the number of chirps in 25 seconds, divide it by 3, and then add 4 to get the temperature. I'm like, I can't wait to try this because I will be doing it every night, all the time, basically. Thunder on All Fool's Day.
So April 1st.
Yes. If it thunders on All Fool's Day, it brings good crops of corn and hay. So basically, it's early season thunderstorms such as those that can pop up on April 1st can lead to an early growing season for farmers. It also is an early hint of excitement with how the growing season may end and the hope of an abundance of yields. Yeets. Okay, and then this one is kind of a my Grandma J thing. So my mom has a tree, whichever one like produces acorns, in her backyard, and then she has like thousands of acorns on her ground all fall. It's kind of annoying because I used to walk barefoot outside and then I would have bloody feet all the time. But
sorry for all the adjusting, folks.
Yeah,
Percy had to be held.
So if whenever my Grandma Jay would come over, she would tell us how the winter was going to be based on when my mom's acorns fell in what month, like, and how much had fallen. Like, if like a bunch started falling at first, like when they start to fall, it means you're going to have a harsh winter.
How did they fall this year?
I didn't pay attention.
How dare you?
I don't live there anymore. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well,
I don't have acorns at my house.
Me either.
But it's just one thing that I always thought about with my Grandma Jay, because she was a farmer. She lived on a farm her whole life. So like she was the Farmer's Almanac. She was pretty accurate about all weather predictions.
She
based
wrote the
on
Farmer's Almanac?
Yeah, basically. And then I have a quick list of natural signs of a rough winter because I'm like, I need to be ready for this because I'm already worried about clothes that I'm going to wear to go to work when it's snowing outside.
Me too. I'm worrying about what shoes I'm going to wear.
That's what I'm like. Am I going to do the thing where I wear my snow boots and then change when I